So, dear friends, imagine one scenario that your mom asked you one day to bring four apples. So, you went to a fruit vendor and just focus on this exercise. This is synonymous to a group discussion and interview, both combined in one process. So, you went to a fruit vendor where there were 40 apples lying in a big basket. You needed to take only four with you. So, just focus on here. And this is what, because we are doing interview and GD in one class, so this would be of utmost importance to you. Focus the number that you had. So you had 40 apples. Now what happened? You saw that big basket, and from those 40, finally you had to take four. Now what happened was the vendor gave you a small basket and asked you to select your four in that. Now what you did was you just had a glimpse on all 40 and you first picked up around 10. Now those 10 you picked at a first sight, but they were not your final selection. Then you touched those 10, saw whether they are rotten, they have any marks on it, or any other issue or defect you could find in them, and finally you went to 4. Now this is the process from 40 to 10, 10 to 4. So from when you went from 40 to 10, this was not selection, you were focusing on elimination. This is very important. That is, you didn't bother which were the 10 that were there, but you bothered which you will not take. Out of those 40, I'm just making a fair assumption that you are seeing everything. That is, all 40 came in your eye radar and you saw every apple. And out of them, you shortlisted 10. That means, but you, without seeing those 10, your logic was, I don't want these 30 for the next round. So those 30 which even had a minor defect that was caught by your eyes, you rejected them. So the focus was, you were never bothering about these 10. ये 10 आपने देखे ही नहीं, आपने वो 40 में से जो पसंद नहीं है उसको नहीं लिया, बाकी ले लिए. So you had a focus on rejection. So that's where you focused on the difference, and your game was, you were focusing on these 30. And even you had you found a minor defect, you rejected it. Then these 10 were remaining. So this process of elimination is called GD. This is very, very important. So this is what is GD. This is the elimination process. Then when from 10 to 4, there you don't focus on 6, because you are not supposed to take them. Now you're focusing on 4, which you will which you will finally take. So that is where the focus is on selection. So group discussion focuses on elimination, whereas interview focuses on selection. This is the prime criteria. Is it fine? Any questions, please ping in the box. Now this is the sample exercise, which sample slide which covers why is GD so important. But I have a question for my dear friends, and focus on the chat box. So here comes the question. So why is every company conducting a GD? Why is GD so important in process? Why is GD such an important component of the whole interview selection, whole campus placement process, or maybe even lateral selection process? So why is GD so important? Any answers? Rachna says tests presentation and communication skills. That's pretty fine. Nidhi says it tests your personality. It's also apt. They check your personality, the way you, as Rachna said, you present yourself, you communicate in a group. I want more participation, guys. It tests your leadership skills. Are you able to lead a group, to filter students due to more number of students? That is what, Sangam, is the purpose of GD. So that's you are spot on that it filters students. For example, you have 50 people who have qualified written, they cannot interview 50, so they have a GD and they come to 10. So that is the definition of GD. But why is GD there? What is so important in GD that is being tested? Mohit says rational thinking and communication skills, how you agree and disagree, this is very important. So we can now summarize what GD tests. The first point, why GD is conducted, the answer lies in a simple concept. Just imagine any job or internship. So any job or internship that you are a part of, it will always comprise of daily meetings. You'll have 2, 3, 4, 5 online or offline meetings. So that's the most important part. Every day you have meetings and meetings. What are these meetings? At the end of the day, they are group discussions where you're discussing with. So you are having group discussions where you're discussing with your peers, with your bosses, with your fellow team members who report to you. So it's basically a 360-degree discussion where people who are above you, down you, the product chain, they all are part of discussion. So you solve problems in discussion. That's where Mohit's point comes, rational thinking. So one thing is, let's focus now. Why? So you got the answer. Why meetings? Why GD is important? Because every day we need to attend meetings, and therefore we should be efficient in GD. We should be effective in GD. So that's what is why GD is conducted. Now, what GD measures? What attributes are being tested in GD? First, as the slide says, personality, and also one of the students said personality. How can you present yourself? Communication. Now, importance of communication is very critical. Communication is not only English. It talks about your fluency of thoughts. It also talks about clarity of speech. That is, are you able to clearly mention what you want to? The conciseness and preciseness of the information. Are you beating around the bush? Are you eating, or are you using too many words? Application of logic, as someone said. So here I would say, one by one, let's say, so comm skills is very important, as the slide also says. Then very important is solution oriented approach. This is critical, solution oriented approach. There would be next slide which would summarize all key 4 skills for a GD. As we said, leadership also is very important. So let's come to this next slide, which says what are the important skills, most important attributes. We got some in the, so here are the most important attributes. First is interpersonal skills. How do you behave in group? Are you able to control your emotions? One important point, more people centric than self centric. Always do you use a word called I should be avoided, we should be used. So GD is one place. Thus focus, my dear friends. GD is one place where a lot of candidates will come. So all candidates will come with their participation. They will come with their thought process. But so they all, when they enter, they would be I. Now that I has to be replaced in the process by something called we. So they all interact. So they all interact with each other. Then this guy also interacts. So these all I's, they all interact. But at the end, the bigger picture is this we. So are they making out this we? So this we is very, very important. And that is what is very critical. So more people centric than self centric. So this people centric means we, and this means I. So in the GD, I has to be killed, and solution has to be achieved with we. Got that? Interpersonal skills, emotional balance is very important. You need not to shout, you need not to insult others, you need to respect them. Persuasive skills, ability to analyze and persuade others to see the problem. This is very important. Sometimes in a GD, what happens, you are speaking a lot. There are a couple of persons who are feeling demotivated. Somehow they are not able to speak. You can persuade them, but that shouldn't even further depress them. So that is a balance exercise. Pressure handling, how calm, balanced, cool is your approach and ability to withstand pressure. Last but not least, idea generation is very important. Can you bring some new solution or some innovation to the topic that has been given? Can you bring a fresh perspective? Can you add upon something? Can you bring something on the table? Now, these ideas should only not to be remembered during GD. They should also be remembered throughout the life when we are part of practical discussions. Can we showcase these skills? Can we use these skills for a bigger picture of our organization? Can we generate ideas for the organization? Can we generate ideas for the nation? Can we do this? Can we handle pressure in tough situations? So that is what is expected. Okay, friends. So anything on this slide? Then the next slide summarizes. So are we all there? Please give me a cheer up. Long time. So my dear friends are there. Sangam smiles. Bhanu also does the same. Good. Ujwal is there. 612845. May we know your name, please? Six one two eight four five. Anurag, yes. So great agent number 612845 is Anurag for all our information. That's good. So let's now go to the next slide. So this is a master strategy, which one slide, if you remember about GD, what is all needed in GD, this is a very key slide. If you all can only want to remember a couple of skills needed in GD, this is the slide that is important. Now, which is called cache strategy. K is for knowledge. So you need knowledge about the topic on which GD is happening. You cannot just start and blabber about the topic without knowing it. Then the next point is attitude changes everything is very important saying, and that's why it is mentioned here. Sometimes what happens is I'm covering some questions which you guys will have. Sometimes you people say, sir, I don't know the topic. There's a topic which has been asked in GD, which I don't know at all, and how to speak about that. Here, your attitude helps you in that. How does your attitude help? You do two type of preparation to avoid this. This is a double prong strategy. Now, how does it work? Simple. First is you prepare enough. So that is your preparation should be such that if at all there is any new topic, you should be able to handle. Now, this preparation we will cover. So this is first point is preparation. And second is presence of mind or attitude. How does that happen? If you have prepared properly, then just hear first 2 to 3 speakers, and hearing them, you would be able to understand some nitty-gritties of the topic, and with the knowledge that you've gathered, you will be able to speak. So don't repeat what he or she spoke, just get the idea and the gist, and then combine with the knowledge. So step 2, which I said was to understand, this is called presence of mind, POM. So presence of mind, when applied with the preparatory skills that you have, you can take care of this. Now, let me come to how do you prepare? So there is one key way to prepare for GDs. First thing is, I would be forwarding you around 20 topics, which if you will be reading, then you can more or less be confident that whatever topic comes, at least you will be able to correlate after hearing 2 or 3 speakers. If you are not able, the worst is you would be able to speak after hearing 2 people. The best is you will be able to start the topic. So what is that? What are those 20 topics? Before we go to those 20 topics you'll find in the mail, but the framework that those 20 topics will follow is called a PESTEL framework. So for GD, there is something called PESTEL framework. Has anyone heard this PESTEL framework? So if anyone has heard, please tell me what is PESTEL. And one more thing, we will never use Google during the class. The point is that would stop your thought process, and you will never remember that. If you would do a Google right now, it means it would be a copy paste at your hand, and your brain exercise won't work here. So if you don't know, not a problem. Give it a try. Give it a genuine, organic try. So what is PESTEL analysis? Anyone knows PESTEL framework? PESTEL framework is universal for GDs. If you can talk about these 6 things, so there are 2 aspects in which PESTEL should be applied. Are you all there? Okay, so PESTEL, the very key thing about the PESTEL is it is seen in 2 perspectives. One is whenever a topic is given to you, for example, I give you the topic, just see the application of PESTEL. Topic is Indo-Chinese relations, nothing else. So the topic is Indo-Chinese relations. So if you want to speak on this topic, you should cover all the 6 aspects given in PESTEL. Now let me tell you what are 6 aspects. This P stands for political. So it stands for political. I would write in the chat box clearly. So P stands for political. Then E stands for economical. S stands for social. T stands for technology. E stands for environment. And L stands for legal. So when you have a topic called Indo-Chinese relations, you need to cover all these 6 aspects. How is it politically affecting? How is it economically affecting? What is the social implication? What is technology implication? What is the impact on environment? Sometimes 1 or 2 frameworks may not be applicable and you may not get time in the GD. But this is what is a 360-degree approach in case you want to crack a GD most effectively on the content part. Now, forget about the topic, how it comes. So whenever a topic comes, you need to cover 6 aspects. This is done. Now, apart from the topic, you need to understand some basics of all these 6 things with respect to India and globe. So what I would be doing is, I would be giving you around 3 to 4 key political topics, similarly for all the other cases. So we will do 3 to 4 topics in each case that would enable us to have a command on this area, and that would be benefiting us when we have new topics. Okay, so this is pretty fine with you. So A for attitude, S is for skill. Now skill means how can you provide solutions. So solution provider is what, and you all remember, can anyone tell me what was the definition of skill that we learned? What was the definition of skill that we learned, which can make us earn? So skill is that important. So you need to showcase that skill. For example, you have a skill of coding, that means you're a problem solver. So that skill of mind-boggling thinking has to be applied here. So your skill has to be applied in form of problem solver. Another point very critical for you all is you need to be problem solver and not problem finder. That is important. That means in the group, if someone is bringing some solution, you should add upon to that solution or critically do some analysis rather than just finding absurd problems. So in the team, don't become a problem finder just for disturbing the environment. If there is some genuine thing, politely say, oh, I think it is missing that. But your focus should not be a problem finder. You should be a problem solver or a solution provider. Got it? Did it make sense, my dear friends? And last but not least, H is honesty. What does that mean? You should be honest in your approach. So honesty is still the best policy and would always be the best policy. That is what to be remembered. So you need not to fake up the things. You need not to make up the things. You need to just present the things as they are and be honest. The rest would be the best. Okay. So any issues till now? That otherwise we will come to the types of GD. So please inform me if you are fine with the pace that is going on. Okay, so various types of GD that we can define on the basis of topics are these 4 categories: knowledge-based topics, abstract topics, controversial topics, and opinion-seeking topics. Let's see one by one. First one is knowledge-based topics. So just imagine, yeah, okay. Ujjwal brings us, okay, Radhika also has raised hand. So Radhika, it was a mistake or you want to ask a question? You can type your question, Radhika, on this chat box, in this chat box. Till then, I'll take Ujjwal's case. Ujjwal says, okay, not a problem, Radhika. So Ujjwal says, sir, is it true that the top level executives are problem finder rather than problem solvers. No, not we can say Ujjwal again. I would say very honestly that both the level it is the personal, what you can say, integrity of the person. And I don't generalize this. And one point is, if a person is up the chain, that means a top level executive, that means he has gone through the way. He has risen above the ranks. So he has come from the bottom and now he is at the top. So that means he has seen all the positions. So I would say he should not be, ideally he should be, if he's a top level executive, he should be a problem solver. And I think it's our impression sometimes. I understand it's sometime our impression, because after 5 years or 7 years, I see you as at the top level executive. Then I don't think your perspective would change if you are a personally integrated person. So I would feel it's not like that. Sometimes our perceptions of that. Do you have a specific scenario we can talk about? But they are not. I think they are problem solvers. I suppose you go to them with any problem, they would mostly solve it. If that is not a case, that's a personal problem maybe, but mostly they have to. Is it fine? Okay, so knowledge-based topic. What is a knowledge-based topic? Knowledge-based topic is one topic where subject matter expertise is needed somewhat. For example, GST implementation strategy is one topic that is asked, for example, in the GD. Now, you need to understand that which were the prevailing taxes before GST. So you need to understand service tax, you need to understand VAT, you need to understand sales tax. So these were the existing taxes with which GST has replaced these taxes. First thing is, so that is one aspect. Another aspect is that GST, how is it implemented? How has it been implemented with GST Council? What are the 4 major categories or major slabs? 5, 12, 18, 28. What is the rationale behind dividing them? What are the essential services? Where are they falling? All those nitty-gritties of GST implementation has to be known. We cannot blabber only. So this is again will come in economic. So economic or maybe a little bit in legal. So this is the topic which if we know, we'll speak better. So the topics for which you need to have the knowledge about the topic are called knowledge-based topics. You can read other topics and you will come to know about the same. Let's take another category, controversial topics. These are some topics on which there has been a controversy because there's no one equal thinking, or there's not as a unanimous thinking. There's different aspects or different opinions are existing. That's why there is a controversy, and that may be due to political inclination. Someone may be left inclined, someone may be right, or someone may be central. So those political inclinations may be there. So there may be some political topics. Another is, for example, religious topics. There can be a topic about religion and COVID-19, how they are interrelated. That can again be controversial if someone takes it on one aspect or another. In controversial topic, the key thing is, how do you address your views? Understand you are sitting in a group discussion for a placement. Now that means you're sitting at a public place. People are there. So it is not to showcase your muscle power in terms of your opinion. It is basically to showcase your intellect, and which has to be natural. So you should, so as a personality, you should always express your opinion or respect others' opinion also. It should not be you're bashing others. Getting the point? So you should respect others. Your listening capability is also important. Apart from speaking, how do you take others' opinion? That is important. Something related to reservation. These all are controversial topics, maybe about LGBT issues. So those all are, so what would be the next step on this? So those all are, how are LGBT relations taken up? So all those points have to be covered, and without hurting others as per the topic. Okay, so the next one that we have on our card says the third category, which is, you can keep pinging me. You can keep writing your thoughts or your questions on the chat box. It's always welcome. Next is opinion seeking, the third category. So we did, first one was knowledge, second one was controversial topic, third is opinion seeking. This is the best part. Most of the GDs are opinion seeking. They will ask you to answer a question. So you can either support or you can either be against the topic. You can also take a middle point, not a problem. where you logically suggest both the ways. So this is not a debate where it has to be for the motion, against the motion. But just understand, you don't sound too robotic and too diplomatic also, that your emotions are not reflected, at least your positive emotions. As a natural human being, as we talk about manav characteristics has to be shown. Got it? So the topic can be social media boon to the society or bane. So what do you think? Then maybe this is a very old topic, love marriage or arranged marriage. Today they can ask about live-in relations. How do you take about them? So there can be open-ended questions which you need to answer. These are opinion-seeking topics. Last but not least, for which there is not, we don't have a slide for it. That is, they are abstract topics. So what are abstract topics? Let me ask you all, what do you mean by abstract topics? Can someone from the audience tell me what is meant by abstract topic for a GD? Can you suggest an example? Today in the morning batch, someone suggested a very exciting topic for abstract category. So I was really happy to get that new topic. Maybe I'm looking for the same from this batch. Something exciting, something new. Yes, friends, please tell me. Are you able to listen to me? I think you're there. Borderless world, very true. So this is good. Yeah, this also, so Rachna has put up a topic, borderless world. So now, because it is, so one important thing is it has not got a goal that we need to come to a conclusion. It is an imaginative topic. It is an open-ended topic. So we can have n number of perspectives about the topic. So well done, Rachna. I want more topics and more concepts. What is an abstract topic? How do you think about abstract topic? Are you all listening? In the morning batch, someone said circular samosas are better than triangular samosas. So something like this. Whatever the point is, whatever is provoking something, some thoughts can be literally built around the same. That is smart works is hard work also. But again, it is not an abstract topic. Vishnu, we know what is smart work. Smart work has not got n number of emotion, n number of we can say that it's not too open-ended. We know, should a particular nation have rights over its art or humankind? No, these are not abstract topics, Mohit, Ujwal. They have a goal. Now I'll tell you. I'll give you the example: red versus blue, 0 versus 1. So these are some sort, these which don't have any objective. Import from China should be open. This is not an abstract topic. This is open-ended. Ankita, yours is open-ended. So I'll just reply. Ankita is open-ended. Oh, that opinion seeking. Sorry, Ankita's topic is opinion seeking. So I'll just reply to you all. Ankita's topic is opinion seeking. Then let's go to COVID-19 and increasing population. This is not abstract. This is one of the reasons that people are talking about. Free water versus free oxygen. Then again, Ashish, it has got one meaning. Okay, let me write in simple words. A topic which has got hundreds of interpretation. Topic which has got hundreds of interpretation. I will just throw this topic and you all will tell me. Okay, red versus blue, tell me, you all would be able to tell me around 15 things. So just let's talk about red versus blue. I just speak. What will you talk about in red versus blue? Flying cars? I think it's a reality. So again, it has not got Sangam, it has only got one or two constants, right? Flying cars is becoming reality. So topic which has got hundreds of interpretation. Just, yeah, but it's getting excited. So red versus blue, tell me the aspects. You will understand that once you play the game of red versus blue. Just write what can you interpret in red versus blue. Start interpreting red versus blue. Alarm. Red is alarm, where blue is. So start. You should write n number of things. Red का मतलब क्या? Blue का मतलब क्या? What does it? Red blood. Okay, very good. Get on. Fire and water. Ayush says. Yashpal says red is power. Red related to love. Ujjwal says very good. Ankita says blue is cloud. Ashish says blue is life. Someone, Manchester United versus Chelsea. Are you football lovers? Are you thinking in that direction? Yeah, Man U versus Chelsea. Can we think? Yes or no? Red is failure. Yes, good. Cricket lovers, what can you think? Red versus blue. Cricket lovers. Red versus blue for cricket lovers. West Indies versus India. West Indies was little brown, but fine. RCB versus MI, great. So you can take it very well. I think identified. Raj, Yash, very well identified. Well done. Then, so these many opinions are coming. Red versus blue. Danger and safe. Okay. Cold drink lovers, what is the answer? Red versus blue. Test case passed blue. Test case failed red. Very good, coders. Coke and Pepsi, very good. Okay. Pizza lovers, what can be the answer? Can it be thought? Domino's versus Pizza Hut. Can it be thought? China versus, yes, very good. So are you bringing, so how many perspectives? अब clear हो गया abstract topic? एक topic के 50 perspective. But increasing population and COVID का तो एक ही perspective है ना? Understood? So all doubts clear? Can we come back? So talk about the perspectives, nothing less. So let's come back. Next is case study based GD. Now what is case study based GD? Very simple. There would be a case study that would be given to you. A case can be 1 page or 2 page problem that would be given to you. Normally they won't give you more than 2 pages in GDs. So there would be a case of 1 or 2 pages which they would give to you. Now a case can be of 2 types. You need to understand a case can be of 2 types. What are those 2 categories of cases? One is close-ended case and another is open-ended case. Now what is the difference between close-ended and open-ended case? Simple. Open-ended case will not have any question at the end of the case. It will have the case and then they will say analyze the case. What would they say? Analyze the case. Got it? Whereas a close-ended case, at the end of the case, there can be 1 or 2 or 3 questions. So there would be questions. So you need to discuss the answer to the question. So the simple concept is close-ended questions, close-ended cases will have set questions to be discussed in the GD, whereas open-ended cases first need to have a problem identified. So close-ended cases में तो कोई problem नहीं है, आपको सीधे मिला और आपने GD शुरू कर दिया and you said कि question number 1 discuss करते हैं पहले. So either the company will tell you that how many minutes for question number 1, how many minutes for question number 2. That way you can do it. So it's very clear. But for open-ended case, let me assume the case is of 20 minutes. If the case is of 20 minutes, first 5 minutes you need to give for problem definition. This is very important. First 5 minutes have to be for problem definition. पहले आपको problem पे agree करना. This is the major defect that happens in the groups. They are not able to define the problem first. Define नहीं करोगे problem तो discuss क्या करोगे? First 5 minutes define the problem. Next 15 minutes solve the problem. And that's how the GD should be divided. Are we on the same page? Guys, notify me. Are we on the same page? Very good. So let's go to the next slide. So how to solve the case? अब आपका चाहे open-ended case है, चाहे close-ended case है, the approach for solving the case is called a PACER approach. Now PACER approach एक mathematical approach है. This approach you should understand it because it can be used everywhere. It can either be used not only in the GD where you have the cases, it can be used in solving problems also, where you have three ways, for example 3 to 4 methods of solving one problem. How to define which one is the better way? You can use the PACER approach. So just follow the concepts of PACER approach, which we will define in next 2 to 3 minutes. So first step of PACER is problem definition. That means you define the problem. Now, even in the case of open-ended or the close-ended, if it is open-ended, you need to define what is the problem. So first thing is open-ended, anyway you have to do. Close-ended also, please define the problem, and also in this step, also find root cause of the problem. So there is one step called root cause analysis. What was the cause of this problem? So this is, for example, you all are coders. Now there is one page which was not working on an app. Now, what was the problem? Was the query a problem? Was the code a problem? Or was the integration a problem? What was the problem? So, was the connectivity a problem? So, what was the root cause? So, out of the 4 5 components, which one was faulty? So, root cause has to be analyzed and documented and corrected properly. That is the root cause analysis. So, problem definition clear, Ovi? So, problem definition is fine with all of us. Now let's come to the second stage, which is alternative generation. ये क्या होता है? अब आपने problem define कर दी. Now, for example, there is a problem which is that a company has got its sales. The company's sales is decreasing day by day, and they need to increase the sales. A normal problem. Now that is the problem. Now what? So the solution has to be, we need to increase the sales. For increasing the sales, we have 3 alternatives. हमारे पास 3 alternatives है sales increase करने के. A1, A2 और A3. अब suppose A1 में we acquire some other company, which is, and because we have a lot of manufacturing capability, we acquire some other company and we scale up their production in our company. Something like that. A1 ऐसे है. A1 is first alternative, A2 is second alternative, and A3 is third alternative. ये 3 alternative है मेरी sales बढ़ाने की. Got it? ये तीनों alternatives को मैं detail में define करता हूँ. I would define all the 3 alternatives in detail out here. So these are detailed alternatives. 2 to 3 lines, I define all the 3 alternatives. This is the definition of alternative. तो मेरे A1, A2, A3 alternative define हो गए. यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ नहीं किया उन alternative के लिए, मैंने उनको detail से बता दिया कि इस पे मैं ये करूँगा. I will do this in the alternative number 1, 2, and 3. Now I want to understand what is the performance of these alternatives in actually the real-time scenario. So I define some criteria, or I define some parameters to evaluate them. How could I know how they perform? So I define these criteria, and these criteria are known as C1, C2, C3, C4. मैंने 4 criteria बता दिए, C1, C2, C3, C4. These are the 4 criteria on which I can check these parameters, check these alternatives. ये जो मेरे options थे, I can check these options on these criteria. So I have defined the problem. Then to solve the problem, I have 3 options. No, all alternatives. Now to check these alternatives, how they perform in market or in the real-time production environment, what I have is C1, C2, C3, C4, 4 parameters or 4 criteria to evaluate them. Now is it fine with you all? You all are with me till now? Now you just need to see step number 1 में आपने problem define करी, फिर आपने alternative define किए, अब आपने criteria define कर दिए. Step number 4 is very important. वो क्या है? उसमें आप क्या करते हो? You prepare a matrix. What is that matrix? That matrix is very critical, and it is something like this. It details out what are your 4 options, 3 options. So this is, so it says what are your 3 options. First is A1, second is A2, third is A3. Then it says evaluate them on all the 4 criteria. चारों criteria पे evaluate करो. C1, C2, मान लो C1 cost है, C2 time है, C3 resources है, और C4 efficiency है. Now ये 4 पैरामीटर हैं और ये 3 ऑप्शंस हैं. इनके बारे में जो डिटेल्स है हर फील्ड में लिख दो. What are your observations on them? Write objectively in these fields. So you have filled this table. Now filling of the table happens in evaluation phase. इवैल्यूएशन फेज में आपने टेबल भर दी। जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड अगेन, आपने अगर पिछले पेज नहीं समझा था वापस समझ लो। ऑल्टरनेटिव जनरेशन में आपने ये डिफाइन किया, ऑल्टरनेटिव जनरेशन में आपने तीनों डिफाइन कर दिए, क्राइटेरिया में आपने चारों डिफाइन कर दिए, इवैल्यूएशन में आपने मैट्रिक्स भर दिया, पूरा मैट्रिक्स भर दिया। अब रिकमेंडेशन फेज में इस पूरी टेबल को एनालाइज करेंगे आप, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस यू विल रिकमेंड व्हिच वन इज द बेस्ट ऑप्शन आउट ऑफ A1 A2 A3, A2 है कि A1 है कि A3 कौन सा है वो सजेस्ट करोगे और वो केस सॉल्व हो जाए।